And now we move to the controversy surrounding a transgender student athlete in the Inland Empire. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kathy Barrett.
And I'm Carolyn Johnson. Michael and Colleen are off today. The U.S. Department of Justice is opening an investigation into whether California law violates federal civil rights law, specifically Title IX. NBC4's Jonathan Gonzalez in our newsroom now following new details for us. Jonathan.
And Carolyn, Title IX is the federal law that prohibits students from being discriminated against on the issue of sex, gender identity, or gender expression. Now, the Trump administration has announced this investigation, which means the feds could withhold funding for the state of California.
The U.S. Department of Justice has announced a Title IX investigation into California, the Jurupa Unified School District, and the CIF, the state's high school sports governing body. The investigation follows President Trump's threats to withhold federal funding for California after Jurupa Valley High transgender student A.B. Hernandez recently defeated biological girls to qualify for the CIF track and field state championships.
That student is free to compete. Just not on the girls' team.
Bill Asaley is the U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California. The case has caught national attention after the girls who came in second place in the two events Hernandez won have criticized the CIF for allowing Hernandez to compete against them.
All these athletes work really hard, and I'm sure AB works hard too, but there are just certain genetic advantages that biological males have that biological girls don't.
It is fundamentally unfair to allow biological boys to compete against girls. That's not my words. Those are the words of the governor of the state of California. So our position is consistent with his and Title IX.
Governor Newsom came under fire earlier this year for saying on his podcast that trans athletes competing against biological girls was, quote, fundamentally unfair. But many trans activists disagree.
When we talk about fairness, we have to ask ourselves, fair for who, right? Like, is it fair to exclude a young person who is following all the rules, showing up every day to train and competing with integrity simply because of who they are?
Meanwhile, the CIF has announced it will now allow the second place finishers to compete at the state championships and will now score in 3 categories: biological male, biological female, and if necessary, transgender students. Asaley says they'll take a close look at that decision.
If there's going to be a new category formed, we'll take a look at that. We'll see how that plays out. But we want to see that girls are protected. And that's why Title IX was made.
Now, we have made efforts to reach out to both girls who came in second place to Hernandez. We did hear back from the father of one of the girls from La Cañada Flint Ridge. He says his daughter will be competing in the CIF State Track and Field Championships. After all, they're set to take place this Friday and Saturday up in Clovis. Live in our newsroom, I'm Jonathan Gonzalez, NBC4 News.